Welcome everyone to the EXP Young Professionals Mastermind with Chris Vogt. We host this mastermind every single Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, with new guests coming on every week to teach us something. A few housekeeping items before we get started. Please go ahead and make sure your microphone is muted. If you have questions for Chris, go ahead and drop them in the chat. We will have time at the end of his presentation to come back and get those questions answered. This mastermind is being recorded and will be posted in the EXP Young Professionals workplace and Facebook groups. So if you are not already a part of those groups, please make sure that you go and join them. So with that, Chris, if you want to get us started.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you for allowing an old fogey whose age starts with a 6 to be part of the young professionals. But I am young at heart. I think 62, which is my birthday coming up August 1st, will be the new 37. So that's my plan, at least. So I would like a little bit of interaction in the chat today. So the first thing I'd like to know is how many of you are currently using AI, and give me an example of something you're doing with AI, just 2 or 3 words. Grayson is using it. It's great. Eden is using it to batch content for social media, I'm assuming. Just shake your head. Yes. Okay. Excellent. Listing descriptions from Nolan. Perfect. Okay. Now that's starting to come through. Victor's for basic research. Jessica is using ChatGPT. Perfect. Okay. So she's got a new agent plan. Awesome. Grayson's rewording his emails, business planning. Okay. So pretty typical uses that I'm seeing so far. So my goal today is to share at least something that you haven't heard before. Is that fair? You like that? Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. AI fascinates the socks off of me. In fact, I'm not even wearing socks today. So this is so exciting. I mean, I actually spend sleepless nights contemplating the value that AI will have. There's 2 groups of people that I find when I'm talking about AI. The first group is like, ooh, I'm afraid of that. I don't understand it. I don't know what to do with it. And AI is going to destroy the world. And the other group is, this is awesome because it's going to leverage me. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I know it's going to be really cool. And so I like to always be not living in fear, not living in scarcity, but living in gratitude and abundance. So for example, I'd like to ask you, if you would describe yourself or describe a glass that is an 8-ounce glass that has exactly 4 ounces of liquid in the glass, how would you describe the glass? Just real quick. How would you describe a glass that's 8 ounces with exactly 4 ounces of liquid? Okay, I'm seeing half full, so we got some positive people there. Enough. Okay. So no downer Debbies in the crowd this morning. It's my glass is half empty. All right. So I don't describe my glass like that. I describe my glass as refillable because I can put more stuff in it. It means I can enjoy what I have. I can share what I have with others, and I can always get a refill. All right. So this is my approach to life, and this is something that the way I like to approach it. So the first thing I want to do is I'm expecting that being part of the YP group here today, that everyone is on social media and everyone is doing video, right? Now, if you're not, I'm not going to ask you to admit it, so you can remain anonymous. The first thing I want to show you is this Opus clip. Opus clip is kind of fascinating because you can upload a video to YouTube, and then it will use AI to break it out into smaller clips that you can then use. I've seen other people do this. I've done it for myself. I haven't actually used the clips yet because I'm just too freaking busy, which is one of the things that AI is going to help me with, is it's leveraging my time so I can do more, but it's still a whole big thing of how do I manage that time that I still have? Everyone still has 24 hours in a day, but as we leverage ourselves, our vision of how to fill that time expands also, right? Do you have the same problem I do? Just let me know in there if you do. All right, so Opus Clips, it's opus.pro, if you want to go look at it online, opus.pro. I've uploaded a video that I have not yet shared, and I asked it to break it up into little clips for me. And so this is when I did this. It says it was going to take 57 minutes, and it went through, it got the video, it figured out how long it was. It said that I have 12 minutes until the server would let me in to use this. I did this at like 1 o'clock this morning. So, you know, I do have to say, if you use it during prime time, it could take longer, but it doesn't matter because they're going to email you the clips. All right. So I'm going to share a different screen. So you can see here what the output looks like on this program, which is really cool. And so it gives little clips, and not only that, but it tells you what the engagement score is. So this one here says the video has an engaging and informative hook that grabs the attention of viewers, that flows smoothly, explaining the lack of understanding regarding environmental hazards and commercial real estate, providing specific examples, blah, 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 blah. So this is really cool because it ranks your videos so that you can see how they would rank. And notice here, it also tells you what you could do better so that you can learn from what you're doing to become better at it. All right. So I don't want to spend a lot of time with this because we have such a limited amount of time today. So I would expect that many of you are members of the eXp Realty family, and Workplace is a phenomenal place for me. I hang out there quite a bit, and I'd like to invite you, if you're not a member already, to join the AI Adventures group on Workplace. I have scheduled a post of what I think is the most riveting, most thought-provoking, probably the most interesting video, at least it was for me, that I have seen on artificial intelligence so far this year. And the reason isn't because they showed me some new tool or something, it's because of the concepts and the thought-provokingness of it. And so you will be seeing that later. So you're probably saying, okay, so here's Chris. He's already given me an interesting tip. Who is this guy? So I am at eXp Commercial. My first listing was small. It was only $256 million, okay? And I say that facetiously because my background before I came into commercial real estate and eXp was I was an executive in the Silicon Valley. I retired when I was 42. And I already told you I'm going to be 62 on August 1st. So that was 20 years ago. And prior to that, I was a certified financial planner, a tax practitioner, and I was a professional media member. I had a radio talk show for over 6 years. In fact, we were rated #1 in the arbitrons for our time slot in the Sacramento market. So that's just a little bit about who I am. I'm having a lot of fun in my post-retirement gig working here at eXp with my clients. So the first thing I want to talk about that's different, I think, has anyone ever seen the Gartner hype cycle before? If you've seen it before, just let me know, okay? Because this is something that people, you probably know this intuitively, but you may not actually know it. And that is something new happens or an event happens to something that's been out there for a while and it takes off, it captures attention, and everyone seems like everyone knows about it, all right? And the excitement builds, it blows up, and then people's attention span. Have you noticed that people have the attention span of a guppy? You know, it's like there's no attention span anymore. It's like it used to be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because that was like a TV show was 30 minutes long. Now with streaming, all those 30-minute TV shows are really 20 minutes because they strip out all the ads. But people don't pay attention. It's like if you don't capture someone's attention within the first, 3 seconds on a YouTube video, then you lost them. They're not going to stay with you. So you have to know how to hook them right away. That's not really the point of this, but I love to tangentize. So what this is things take off. People get really excited, but they get overloaded with information. They get it becomes old really quick, right? And so the attention drops off, or they look at stuff and they're like, this isn't doing what I want it to do. It's not really ready for prime time. but then they get discouraged and they stop looking at it. And that's what's happening with AI, I think, right now. It's like, I think the peak, at least in the circles I'm running in, was probably about 45 days ago, because we've been inundated with this stuff for so long. We're not seeing cool stuff that's actually capturing our attention and changing our lives. Because that's really the point, right? Is it has to change your life. It has to add value. This is just something I wanted to show you because it's fascinating. And people are always asking, hey, is it too late? And Pew Research, they did a survey back in March. Here it is, July. They did this in March. And 58% of Americans had heard of ChatGPT, and only 14% have used it. Now, in the circles that I run in, I was thinking that it's like, 87% of people had been using ChatGPT, but I was like, whoa, only 14. So I am in pulmonary rehab therapy right now. I ended up getting sick. I was in the hospital for 27 days. And now my lungs I'm relearning how to use my lungs properly so they function well. And I asked my therapist, who is the head of the department that is not a doctor. She's in charge of all the respiratory therapists and pulmonary rehab, what they're doing with the program. And I was talking to her yesterday while I was running on the treadmill, right? And I'm like, hey, so talk to me about artificial intelligence. She's like, well, I don't know anything about it. We here in the department here, UC Davis, great big University of California Medical Center rehab department, is like, we're trying to figure this out, but I haven't really used it myself. I'm a therapist, right? But she's also the person that puts a lot of materials together for programs and presentations and stuff. And she didn't know about it. She's never used it. And I'm like, whoa, that's just crazy to me to think that there's people out there that it's not yet really affecting their lives that they're aware of. So that fascinates me. Here's another thing that is very, very cool. How many of you have used Bing? Oh no, Bing, what? Everyone uses Google. No, I'm not a Bing person. Well, when this all, kind of like launched earlier this year, Microsoft invested $10 billion into OpenAI, the people who make ChatGPT. And they're like, we are going to get early access to stuff. We want to compete with Google because Google's been the big kahuna in artificial intelligence for years, right? And so they invest all this money, and they actually started using ChatGPT 4 in Bing about 2 months before ChatGPT 4 was announced to the public. And you wouldn't know it because of the overlay that they did on it. But one of the things that you can now do with Bing is you just go into Bing AI, and if you don't have access, just go bing.com. There's a little thing at the top of the screen. It says chat. Click on chat, and if you're not provisioned to have it yet, then they will provision you. And it used to take 2 weeks to get it, and now I think it's taking like 20 minutes. Don't quote me on 20 minutes, but it's much less time. And you can actually type into Bing, the search engine, the artificial intelligence chat feature. You can say, give me an image. So you can see on my slide here, I said, please generate an image, photorealistic, 12/9 commercial real estate agent in the city. Now, of course, I'm not a residential agent, so I'm going to ask for a commercial person, right? It did this, which is pretty darn cool, wouldn't you agree? Some nice pictures. Now, obviously, some of the political bias of Bing is showing through because one of the agents is wearing a mask. It's like, hey, that's like 12 months ago. Should be up to date. But look at the facial features. Is my cursor showing on the screen? Can you see my cursor? Okay. So look at the facial features. This guy looks like a chipmunk. I don't know anyone that has cheeks that look like that, little balloons in the cheeks, right? And this guy looks like a kind of a cartoon character. All right, but if you compare this to where it was just 2 months ago and what you could do with this, it's a world of difference. It's like upgrading from a VW Bug from 1969 to a Porsche Carrera. All right, this is like amazing progress that we've seen. in just the last couple months. And of course, I asked for 16.9 aspect ratio. It didn't do it. So there's limitations, but this stuff is changing so quick. These limitations are dropping. So what this program here is this is called Clip Drop from Stability.AI or Stable Diffusion XL 0.9. So anyway, you've used computer programs, you know how they have version numbers. And if it's a version number less than 1, it means it's not yet ready for prime time in the eyes of the developer. And so I gave them the exact same prompt. And you can go do this yourself at clipdrop.co. So this is a free playground, and it's got lots of tools there for playing with images. And look at these images. Now, they obviously are not real people. They're not photographs. But look how great they are. Those are amazing. These are just 2 things that maybe you haven't heard of. All right. Has everyone heard of Clip Drop before me? Stability, AI, Stable Diffusion? No? All right. Cool. All right. I dropped something new on you. I'm really excited about that. So we are on the bleeding edge of artificial intelligence. And it's like happening everything everywhere all at once, right? Anyone seen that movie? I haven't seen it yet, but I hear it's pretty cool. I got to go watch it. All right. First thing we saw was chat, asking questions of the AI. And then we started seeing text to image, which I just demonstrated to you. And then there's deep fakes. Just before this call started this morning, what time was it? Oh, crud. I can't believe it. Going so fast. Just before this call started this morning, I was listening to the local radio station, and they had a ABC news clip or something, and they were talking about how, or CBS, this group, they went to someone who was like a white hat hacker, you know, the good guys who are working for justice instead of trying to steal your money. They said, hey, you know, what's happening with people using deep fakes nowadays? And what's happening is they were saying, oh, well, we took this here CBS staff person, we went on their social media, we downloaded about 10 minutes of clips from their social media, and we used it to clone their voice, gave it a script, called their parents, and tried scamming money from them. And this is a real thing. This is happening. All right. So one of the first things I want you to do today, as soon as you're done with this video, is talk to the people you love and say, look, we need a code word, or we need something to be able to identify that you're really talking to me, because I'm not going to call you up and ask you to send money to a Bitcoin account. Okay. I'm not going to ask you to go to Target and buy me gift cards. All right. That's not going to happen. But if someone calls and they sound just like me, and they're able to get you to question yourself, we need to have a way that's secret, that's not, we're not going to post it anywhere so you can tell if it's really me or a deep fake. They said 10 minutes of video, right? Audio clips. Well, I'm going to tell you something. With artificial intelligence now, AI can actually use 3 seconds of your voice, and they can clone you. Seriously, this stuff is crazy, all right? And people don't know it because it's not being put out there in the media. So deepfakes, a lot of information about that. I think deepfakes are going to have a huge impact on politics as early as the elections next fall, because people are already creating deepfakes. The actors in Hollywood are already negotiating with the studios that they can't clone their visual and voice and everything and use it to make movies. Within the next, it wouldn't surprise me if by the end of this year, you start seeing cloned video of people. I mean, really realistic, that you're like, what? Is that really that person? It's probably already out there, but I'm not saying that everyone's going to see it. Just like what? Only 14% of people are using ChatGPT. So it's going to be out there. It's already out there, but people don't know it. So it's going to be more commonplace by the end of this year. All right, robots. Robots are cool. I love robots. Okay, and robots are becoming very human-like and able to interact, have conversations, and they're starting to exhibit emotion, right? Okay, this is really cool. All right, multimodality tools. When you go to Bing AI and you search and you tell it to generate an image, or I don't think it's happening yet, but it's there. It's ready to happen on some beta sites where you can actually upload an image and the AI will describe the image to you. It'll tell you. But, I've only seen, this in beta. I haven't seen it released to the public yet. And what's happening here is called artificial general intelligence, which is where robots are going to be able to think for themselves and put tasks together to complete a series of tasks using multiple tools. And that's already happening too. I mean, I have a video, yes, on my YouTube channel where I actually demonstrate this. It was a presentation I did a little bit over a month ago for the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Orange County to their commercial real estate group. All right, so where's this going? I don't know where it's going, but it's cool, it's amazing, and I'm glad we're part of it. So what are the opportunities? Automation, brainstorming, content creation, customer service, data analysis, lead generation, proofing and review, research, teaching, training. I mean, basically, artificial intelligence is going to affect almost every aspect of your life that has to do with your brain. Okay? Brandon, it looks like you're enjoying this. Give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying this. All right, good. Glad to see you here. All right, AI today. Did you know that AI passes the bar exam? Do you know that it passes the medical licensing boards? I mean, this is crazy. AI was like 5 years old as far as capacity, human capacity, just a year ago, and now it's like a really intelligent Doogie Howser passing the bar exam. Okay. All right. Right now, AI is playing various expert roles, like, for example, a social media manager or a lawyer or a doctor, but it's doing it with bad memory. And not only that, but it's doing it with bad information. All right. And what I mean is artificial intelligence has been trained on a massive amount of data from the internet. And oh yeah. Okay. Brandon, you believe this, right? Everything you see on the internet is true, right? Just shake your head. Of course it is. No, not true. But AI doesn't know the difference. It's kind of like when you wake up in the morning after an amazing dream and you're like, oh, wow, that seems so freaking real. And you could actually convince yourself that what you dreamt was real, right? Well, that AI doesn't know the difference between what's real, what's fake, what's good information, what's bad information. And Giovanni, let me ask you something. Do you have any biases? Just shake your head. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah, of course. Everyone who's human is biased, and AI is biased because it's based on the training. So where is this going? Okay, well, first of all, this stuff is super cheap. I mean, anyone can afford it. In fact, I was listening to a video yesterday. It's the video that is dropping in the AI Adventures group this morning after this call. The Stability Diffusion, the company that made that clip drop thing that I was showing you a few minutes ago, it's an interview with him. And he was talking about the stuff that they're doing at Stable Diffusion that's going to absolutely blow your mind. I mean, seriously. I sent this to another friend of mine who's into artificial intelligence yesterday, and his response was, this was mind-blowing. I keep stopping the video and backing up and re-listening to stuff because it's crazy awesome. I actually put a quote in there on the thing. But yeah, so it's playing expert roles, but it's got a bad memory. It's got misinformation, but it's doing it at super low cost. I mean, for pennies versus what you would pay an expert. All right. So did you hear about the lawyer in New York that used ChatGPT to write his response, his brief to the court? And it had citations in it saying, Smith versus Doe in such and such a case. And AI made him up. And he got fined by the court for doing that. All right, so this is cool. All right, so everyone knows what scaling is, right? Scaling in business, it's the ability to grow bigger and better without losing quality or efficiency. This includes having the right people, processes, tech in the place to increase revenue faster than expenses. Excellent execution includes freeing the owner's time so they can pursue their dreams and vision. Do you like that definition? I actually created that myself. That was my AI in between my ears. All right. So AI empowers humans to scale. Now you're probably thinking, Chris, show me some more apps. Well, do you want to play small or play big? Who wants to play big? Just put I'm playing big or play big in the chat. I want to see this. Okay. Come on, guys. Who wants to play big or do you want to play small? Play huge. I love it. All right. Way big. All right. Bigly. Here we come. So this is what I mean, you can go anywhere and see a demonstration of how to create a prompt to write a listing presentation, right? But where can you go to actually think about how am I going to expand my mind and get past looking right in front of my nose? I've got kids. Most of you are probably younger than my kids. My oldest is 33. My youngest is actually born on my 35th birthday. So she's going to be 27. 27, can you believe it? All right. And growing up, I always tried to teach them that life is not a checkers game. It's much more strategic. You got to play chess. When you're thinking through everything in life, you can't just think about the next move. You can't just react. You've got to play the long game, and not just chess, but three-dimensional chess, okay? And this is what scaling, we got to figure out what is scaling, okay? Human scaling, back in the 50s before I was born, actually, there were typist pools and they had manual typewriters, and you'd see in the movies, 40 secretaries. Oh, can you say that now in this politically correct era? Can you say secretary? I don't know. I just did. All right. 40 secretaries typing on their manual typewriters, blah, 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 blah. It's like a bunch of monkeys trying to write a book, right? And that was one executive at a high-end company, and that's his pool of people that are just working for him. And then they came out with the IBM Selectric, revolutionized things. One person could type, replace like 3 people. And then they came out with personal computers. And, you've got more computing power on your phone than what was used for NASA to send the first spaceship to the moon and back. All right. And so now a single individual with artificial intelligence can replace an entire team. Because with artificial intelligence, you have a social media expert. You've got a lead generation expert. You've got, all these different experts in your pocket, the people that you hire. And it's a matter of figuring out how to get the AI to do that for you. So in the future, what are we looking for? Everyone is going to have their own artificial intelligent executive assistant. An AI EA will replace an entire team of specialists. All right. Your AI EA will reflect your biases in the future, not the biases of whatever the program is that you are using. All right. You're going to own your own LLM. That means large language model. That's what ChatGPT is based on. It's a large language model. You're going to be able to download and have the equivalent of ChatGPT on your phone by the end of next year. And it doesn't have to be connected to the internet for you to use it, because there's something called data compression that's happening here. All right. So if you take all this information that was used to train ChatGPT and these other models, it's like thousands and thousands of gigabytes of information. It's like taking an entire conference hall of people with their laptops and all the data on all those computers compressed down so that it fits on your cell phone. That's what's happening. I mean, this is crazy stuff. All right. But you're going to be able to download it and put it on your phone, and you're going to be able to train it with your biases. So by the end of next year, I already said this, you're going to have the equivalent of ChatGPT on your phone. And we are starting to see where you can give a query, a prompt, an instruction to a computer and it will generate your own TV shows or movies. You could say, hey, wow, I really like that Top Gun Maverick movie, right? Well, I want to see, I've got 47 minutes. I want to see a 43-minute version because I got to go get some popcorn, right? 43-minute extension, a sequel to this movie using the same characters, and I want you to come up with a really cool plot that's going to surprise me. And AI is going to be able to generate that, and it's going to make something that is going to be so cool, you're going to be amazed. All right. That video I was telling you about, keep hyping, that's going to be dropping in the AI group. All right. In that video, the guy who's in charge of Stable Diffusion, he says that AI is going to replace programmers in the next 5 years. I mean, programmers, think about that. That's crazy. All right, so what else? All right, so here's what I want to do. What time is it? We're just running maybe 2 minutes ahead of schedule. Hopefully I wasn't too hyper talking to you today, but I want to open the discussion, and I want to know, what do you see that you need to scale as a realtor? All right. So what do you need to scale as a realtor? And I'm kind of one of these people who's going to see how this works. But if you want to say something, just pop something into the chat, and then we're going to have you open your mic and talk about it. Okay. So Victor, open your mic. Let's talk about lead generation. And turn on your video so we can see you, okay? Victor, great seeing you. Where you at?
How you doing? I'm in West Palm Beach, and
Awesome.
This caught my attention. I guess you can call me a techie as well. I remember when the Commodore VIC-20 first came out, and I remember buying it. So I'm with you at that at the 59/60 age group. But I am tech savvy, and what really interests me is the potential for lead generation and how I would be able to use whether it's ChatGPT or an AI program to help me do that. Do you have any input on that, or?
Yes. Lead generation for me is the holy grail of AI for real estate. Okay. And right now, I could put your name into Google and it would give me a lot of information, probably, right? Because you're out there, you're putting yourself out there. You're like, I'm a real estate agent. If I don't have my name, my phone number, my email address, people aren't going to contact me. I could put your information in, and I can learn about you, and I could be able to pick up the phone, call you, send you an email. But try this. Try putting your own information into Bing AI or ChatGPT and try to get it to tell you about you. This is a great experiment, because when you do, when I did it for myself, it gave me all kinds of made up stuff. It gave me some real stuff, but it made up stuff at the same time. It's like, that's not my old phone number. I've never lived there. That's not my email address. It made up a bunch of stuff about me. Okay. And so one of the things that the programmers have programmed in, the bias, is they put these walls up. They say, AI, when people ask you questions, you're not allowed to answer these questions. And what's really crazy, it frustrates me and just frosts my cookies, is how I can say, tell me about Victor. It'll give me your LinkedIn page. It'll give me your Facebook profile. And if I go to your LinkedIn page, your Facebook profile, I can see your phone number right there. I can see your email address right there. But the AI will say, sorry, this information is not available.
Correct.
It lies to you. It's frustrating. Okay. And this is where it's going to be really cool when we get to program our own artificial intelligent executive assistants to do things the way we want them to do without the guardrails. It's coming. All right. Yeah. So, and this is the thing I actually have. Is it okay if I share personal stuff here? Is that okay, Victor?
Go ahead.
All right. I have 2 full-time staff that all they do is they do what AI won't do for me, which is going in and scraping stuff off the internet that the AI tools won't do. That's what they do. They do my lead generation, 2 full-time staff, and they're going to be replaced. Oh, hold it. I hope they didn't hear that. There's always all right, lead generation. Jessica, systems for leads, listings, and leverage. Jessica, open your mic. Turn on your video. Let's see you. All right.
I can't turn on the video, but I am here.
Awesome. Great to have you with us. Where are you at, Jessica?
I am in San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio. Awesome. I hate the traffic on the loop. No way. Don't like it. All right. So you said listings. I love the alliteration, by the way. Leads, listing, and leverage. All right. So talk to me. Give me some more information. What are you looking for?
I am, first of all, not responsible for the alliteration. That would be Gary Keller, his book, $1 Million Real Estate Agent. I totally borrowed that. That's not me.
It's called appropriating.
Yeah, I would love to eventually have created a turnkey business. I'm going to be honest, because to me, I love the idea of serving others, but freedom to spend my time where I would like it to be. And so I see that as creating a turnkey business with my real estate business.
Okay. All right. So give me some ideas of what that looks like. And what do you think? Not just what it looks like, but what would you want AI to do to you to give you your time back, to give you your freedom?
Yeah, so we talked about leads, but definitely with listings, I would love to be able to know what's available on and off market, just being able to connect with, people who've had, interests in selling their home that may not be on, the different networks like Zillow, Trulia, that may be just having discussions elsewhere, possibly on their social media. And as far as leverage, helping me to hire the right people based on, their content, their potential and online presence, that type of thing.
Okay. So I was on a presentation, when was it? It was probably in March. And it was one of these companies, and they're like, our AI can predict what people were thinking and what they're going to do with regards to selling their house. I'm like, yeah, right. And there's a lot of hype out there, and I'm waiting to see something that's real, that actually works, but it's coming. All right. So you know how your credit card companies, all these data people, they're collecting all this data, they know what your likes are and stuff, and all of a sudden you start seeing ads showing up on your Facebook feed or wherever you're at, these ads for like, wow, hold it. I mean, there's all these stories like people are starting to get ads for like baby furniture and stuff, and they don't even know they're pregnant yet. Okay. Because the data companies see what they're buying, and they're like, and what they're looking at on the internet, and they're like, oh, this person's pregnant. So they start serving ads that pregnant people would want, right? And so the ability to predict and to read nuances is coming. And it's scary, actually, really scary, because I don't want people to be able to predict me. Do you want people to be able to predict you, Jessica? Maybe not. Okay. So anyhow, yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun leveraging yourself, because you know what? Even when I was just graduating from college, go back to 1983. Most of you weren't born then. 1983, when I graduated from college, there was a big thing about high touch versus high tech. And I think that what was said back then is still true. People are enamored with technology and what technology can do for you, but the real winners are going to be people who understand that technology is not the end all. It's building personal relationships. AI can only go so far to help you. It can give you the background information and stuff, but you actually have to interact real live with people. And I think if there's something that I can help you understand today is look at the AI stuff, but redirect your focus back to people and how can you connect on a meaningful way with people? Because the more that AI is out there, the more impersonal things become, even though, it's kind of like when you talk to a cheerleader in high school and they were all fake, it's like you knew they just said hi to you because it was just part of their act. They really didn't care. It's the same way with AI. I mean, people are like, they can tell the difference between AI and really people, human caring. And that's what I think is going to set people apart in the future, is the people who've got the AI working in the background so they know how to be more connecting on a human level. Does that make any sense to anybody? So events are something that you're going to see having more meaning in the future. Having the opportunity to connect with people. Right. Do you guys mind if I share my YouTube channel with you real quick? There. One of the things I'm doing this year is I'm trying to grow my personal presence on social media. So I launched a YouTube channel. It's fun, but it's a lot more work than I ever expected. I think I'm going to have like 200 subscribers here pretty quick. And I can't believe how much work it's taken to get to 200. All right. And so I want to figure out how to use AI to help me do that more effectively. I'm working on it. All right. Who else has something? Victor says, thank you. This stuff is making sense to him. Productivity is too general. Thomas, open your mic, open your camera. Let's see you. What do you want in productivity? Give me some specifics.
No, I was going to say, if you ever notice, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, welcome.
Okay. So, you'll notice that with SkySlope right now, I don't know if anybody uses SkySlope. When you open up a property in there, they'll give you a actual email to send the email, and it takes the documents. So in the future, what's going to happen is that the AI is going to be able to recognize those documents and then add those into your checklist, and that is going to be towards the end of needing a TC.
Mm-hmm.
Also in the future, you'll be able to print the listing questionnaires that you have your clients fill out so that you can fill them into the listing in the MLS. In the future, the AI will be able to read that document and fill out the listing for you, and then you would just go in there and fix anything negative. And so I think with productivity in the future is that it's going to replace PCs, it's going to replace needing an assistant, and I think it's going to integrate more into your calendar and timelines. And I think that if it pops up and just says, hey, today's the day that we need to do this, and you just tell it to go ahead and send that document, it's just going to go ahead and send that document. So I think productivity wise, I think that it's going to take a lot of load off of us, and we're just going to be not having too much back end stuff to do.
Good thing. Thomas, I think that within 24 months, this is my personal prediction, within 24 months, today it's July 7th, 2023. So if you're watching a replay, you know what our concept of, or our perspective is, where we're at. Your AI, your personal AI that has your built-in biases because you've let it read all of your email history, so it knows how you've responded to emails. You've let it look at all the documents that you've written. It's scanned your entire hard drive. So don't put stuff on your hard drive you don't want your AI to see, much less your mom, right? It's going to be able to scan everything that you've produced that's in a digital format, whether it's on your local hard drive, whether it's on your social media, wherever you've got it, that it can find information about you, how you think, how you respond, and it's going to be able to automatically respond to your emails, automatically book your appointments, and it'll be up to you to program what kind of oversight you want to have on it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just like when you have a really good executive assistant, your executive assistant will be able to autonomously do stuff for you without checking in with you every time they want to do something. They're going to automatically send an email once you've trained them what to do and you're comfortable with what their output. All right. And this is what we're going to be seeing. All right. Let me start.
Imagine this just really quick. This will kind of blow everybody's mind, but could you imagine just looking at your computer and saying, write up a purchase agreement at this price with this much seller concessions, and then it just automatically fills in the whole entire listing agreement for you. That's the wild part.
Well, remember we were talking earlier about the AI is already passing the bar exam. Okay. I mean, you are not an attorney. You're filling out legal contracts. I mean, we're basically trained monkeys when it comes to this. Okay. We're filling in blanks. How much of a leap is it for you to imagine that the computer that has all this access to all these legal contracts and case law will be able to fill in those blanks better than you in the next 2 years?
Exactly.
So what does that change your job to? It changes your job to building relationships so that you can build trust with people so they trust you, not a faceless computer at a website to sell them their house, right?
And a manager. You're managing it, and they're your workers, and you're making sure they're working, and you overlook their work. So I think it's going to be more like you'll be a manager and managing everything that's going on, and then you'll be able to say, oh, you did this wrong, I'll fix it. So
yeah. All right. I dropped another link in the chat if you haven't noticed. And this is for my newsletter that I launched. I launched this newsletter a month after I launched my LinkedIn profile, and I just pulled it up. I have, as of last night I did a screenshot about a week ago. Had 191 subscribers on YouTube. I launched my video on February 14th, Valentine's Day. As of right now, my LinkedIn newsletter, which launched a month later, has 1,894 subscribers. And I have not been working at getting subscribers to my LinkedIn newsletter. It's because of artificial intelligence at LinkedIn. Their algorithm is sharing my newsletter with people who they think would be a good audience, and they're connecting them for me. Now, there's a really good use of AI, wouldn't you agree? All right, we got just a couple minutes left. I know Giovanni wanted to do a wrap up here. Giovanni and Eden, I really appreciate you guys inviting me to join you today. Is there anything else that you'd like to hear from me in closing? All right, there's my information again. If you're with EXP, I'm on Workplace. Please follow me. Please join the AI Adventures group. The AI Adventures group, where I post a bunch of stuff and I invite other people to post stuff too, not marketing stuff. We want this to be an educational platform. Also, as you can see, and as we talked a little bit about, I'm in commercial real estate. I'm not a residential agent. I'm not your competition. I'm your partner. Let's collaborate on commercial real estate. So I also formed a group called Commercial Real Estate 101. So you can find it on Workplace, CRE 101, or Commercial Real Estate 101. I invite you to join that group too. So Alexis, thank you so much. I really appreciate your feedback. Anyone else have something they want to say? We got like 2 or 3 minutes left before we're at the top of the hour.
Yeah, I want to say thank you. Definitely, Chris. Thank you again for coming on and sharing everything to us. Thank everybody for coming on. As a reminder, we do these masterminds every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern. Make sure you guys follow Chris Vogt, CRE on YouTube, our Business Edge on LinkedIn, AI Adventures on Workplace. Make sure you guys follow us on Workplace and on social media at EXP Young Professionals. Make sure you guys follow me at Giovanni B and Eden at Sold by Eden. If you guys have any questions, we got Chris for a couple of minutes, maybe a couple questions here. If we have anything. Yeah, we got a lot of tools to experiment with over the weekend, that's for sure.
Well, and if you go up to my YouTube channel, I've got more information on artificial intelligence. I launched the channel expecting to start talking about commercial real estate just as this artificial intelligence thing hit. And dang it, I've been distracted. I need to put more commercial real estate stuff up there. But don't worry, it's coming. That Opus clip thing that I shared with you earlier on environmental hazards in commercial real estate, that stuff's going to apply to you residential agents too. So when that drops, probably next week, I recommend you take a look at that.
Sweet. Well, I'll just be respectful of everyone's time. Say thank you again for coming on, and we will see you guys next week.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you allowing me to join you.
Thank you. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.